Good morning, Charles Van Morgan. This is the Charles Van Morgan Show. So we have got a lot of things to talk about to you this morning. We're going to talk about the continuing saga of crimes of the privileged. And we're going to talk about some crimes of the privileged today. So hang with us, Charles Van Morgan Show, and we're going to continue talking about don't go along with the program. Just because people in power tell you something is legit, that you should go along, maybe for your own safety, health, protection, well-being, you shouldn't. So Charles Van Morgan, unbridled news, stuff you won't hear anywhere else, only on the Charles Van Morgan Show. So come on in and join us for this little trip, this little travel, fighting through the corruption of people in government power that you won't hear anywhere else. The Charles Van Morgan Show, fighting people in power that are crooks, criminals, and thugs, and we're going to call them out by name. Going to talk about one of the richest men in Tennessee, the thug Bill Haslam. I call him Bill Has-Been. Who's a criminal who violates the law, switches the financial system around, and exploits you at your demise, at his workers' demise, so much that they get dead. So let's turn the camera around. Comment, subscribe if you like, and follow us on this little journey, this journey of truth. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Thank you all so much for joining us. We got a powerful show to you today, and a show that exposes me to, I'm not worried about liability. I have nothing for them to take. I'm what you call sue-proof, because they taking all my money, and barely have enough to live, so because of the crimes of the government. So what are they going to take from me? You know, when they get you in a corner, and they wonder why you come out fighting when they come in on you, because you ain't got nowhere to go. So, you know, they're stupid. And I'm concerned about them trying to take away my life. So I'm doing this at my own potential of getting killed, presenting you information that you won't hear anywhere else, because everybody else is afraid to, and justifiably so. It's a hazardous endeavor to point out the crimes of the people in privilege, because they bought government power. They have the forces of law enforcement. They can trump up charges and have you arrested. And when you fight against them, when you protest, when you contest their protests, because they're protesters, they shouldn't be in the government, they ought to be in jail, then they will try to kill you. And they've already put me in jail. That didn't work, just made it worse on them. And, you know, I got a mugshot just like Rosa Parks. If you're prejudiced, then you'll say, oh, Rosa was a good person and Charles Van Morgan's an evil person. No. It doesn't matter what race, creed, religion you are. You have a right to the Constitution. So if you stand on the Constitution and exercise your rights to be treated equally, then it shouldn't matter what color you are if you get arrested for the cause of justice and upholding your rights. So we're gonna talk about crimes of the privileged. These privileged people that had me put in jail, but they didn't win. They took a lot of my time away from me. And their point was in defaming me to try to say he's no good, see the government arrest him. Although they don't print the rest of the story, is that the charges didn't stick. Because like you in a civil court, they can charge you with anything they want to. And they got one of their bought and paid for judges that'll find you guilty of anything they want them to find you guilty of, whether or not you did it or not. They do it in forfeiture seizure hearings all across the state of Tennessee every day. Come to Tennessee and give the state government your property, because that's what happens. It happens all the time. You know, if I was you, I'd stay out of this wicked, dirty state. It's crooked as hell unless you want to give up your property to thieves in government power. But they don't care. They don't want you in Tennessee. They want your money here because you can't vote for them, so they don't care. So we're going to talk about crimes of the privileged and how they flip the financial system. So it's not a complicated process to think about, but you do have to do a little thinking to grasp the concept of how Mr. Haslam has flipped the financial system and reaps all the money and takes none of the danger of losing anything. So in the financial system, you have a system set up. Yeah, just come out here where you ran over me. A system set up to where if you run over me, you're running over me for the world to see. So yeah, you have a system set up where if you are a high risk, if you're borrowing money, you're at a high risk of not being able to pay back the money in loans, and the way the financial system is set up, then you can borrow money, but you have to pay a lot for it because you're a high risk. You have to pay for the risk that you are, because you may not pay it back. So the people that loan you the money, you have to compensate them for that risk. If you're paying back money, you've borrowed money before, and you paid it back before, so they know that they're probably going to get their money, and you got means to pay it back. They'll loan you money, and you don't have to pay much risk because they're probably going to get their money. So risk is something that is financially compensated for. A high risk, if you're a high risk not paying back a loan, you can't get a 0% interest. Most likely, you have to pay a lot of money to get a loan because you might not pay it back, and some people loan it to you, but they got to be compensated very well. And there's the rooster that crows every morning, and that's just like human behavior. You're going to be able to hear Bill Haslam crowing because I'm telling you the truth about his little facade of a system that he rips people off, flips the financial system. I'm going to explain to you how he does that. So risk is compensated in the financial system. And that makes sense, because if you may not pay back the money and you want a loan, then you can say, hey, bank, give me some money. And they can say, well, we will, but we look here where you've had a few financial problems and we're not sure we'll get back the money. So we'll loan you this money, but you have to pay us a lot of money before we'll take that risk. If you pay us a lot of money when we pay it back, the money that we loan you plus a whole lot more money, because we're going to take a big risk, then we'll loan you the money. But if you come into the bank and you've had a good history of paying them back, you've borrowed money before, there's no issues before in the past, never been late, you can come in there and borrow money, and they're not going to ask you, they're going to ask you to pay back the loan and just a little more money, because they know they're going to get back the money, and they know they're going to get a little interest on it because you're going to pay that back. So that's the way the financial system works. It works for them that way. But what about if you are the one taking a huge risk, the most risk in society that you could ever take? Do they do it fairly then? Does Haslam do it fairly then? If you borrow money from him, you're a high risk. You got to pay back a whole lot of money for the risk you take. What about if you're taking a huge risk on doing something for him? Does he pay you for that? Or does he flip the script and take no risk and take the money off the risk that you did? So here's a convenience store right here. And so you see the gas pumps there? They're called the Stop and Rob. Now Haslam has got rich off convenience stores all across the United States, pretty much, mostly in Tennessee. Now he's selling a lot of them off, I think, because And I pointed out that I'm making him look bad with the truth. And so those convenience stores are the most dangerous places to work as far as homicide, where you get killed on the job, than any place in America. People at convenience stores get killed. When I done the study years ago when I was in criminology, there were 350 convenience store clerks that got killed on average every year. I think that number has gone down a little now. I think because they twist the statistics because they don't want you to know. But convenience store clerks get killed at an alarming rate. That's one of the most dangerous jobs it is the most dangerous job for homicide, to get murdered on the job, your life taken away, than any job in the United States of America. Now, there's other dangerous jobs, but we're talking about criminology. Now, there's dangerous jobs where construction workers have accidents where their jobs are dangerous in a different way, but we're talking about dangerous in a way of crime. Convenience stores are the most dangerous places to work in America as far as somebody assaulting you or killing you on the job. It's because, you're working behind a desk, money. A lot of them work alone. All across America, convenience store clerks get killed almost on a daily basis. Now, a lot of people don't know that. I'm telling you that. So that is a high-risk job. You make minimum wage for a high-risk job. So that's kind of flipping the script on the way the financial system works. Because the way it works for them, if you borrow money from them, you pay a lot of money if you're a high risk to borrow the money. But what if you work a high-risk job for them? You take extreme amount of risk to make them money. Do they pay you well at their convenience stores to work there? No, they don't pay you well. Minimum wage. They don't even spend money to protect you. It's a form. They don't spend money significantly to protect you. Now, they have installed cameras now, which is a very inexpensive way to record your murder if you work at a convenience store. That does a hell of a lot of good. They can get the one perp that did it off the street, maybe if they don't come in with a mask. But the security cameras are movies for them to watch your murder later if you get killed in one of their convenience stores. They do sometimes very little to uncover who did it when they're covered up and they don't come in a car. But convenience stores are the most dangerous job in America for homicides. High risk. You borrow money from them and you have a high risk that you won't pay it back. You pay them a lot more money on top of the money you borrowed from. You work at one of their convenience stores, one of Haslam's convenience stores, he's flipped the risk. High risk, the highest risk known to man. Your life is gone. I mean, if you don't pay back his money, he loses money. That's bad. Oh, you didn't pay back his money. That's not right. But if you pay back his money, you pay a lot of interest. So he benefits from taking that risk. He benefits, even if it's a high risk. You work at one of his convenience stores, high risk. The highest risk known to man, your life can be taken away. And it is taken away. The most dangerous job as far as homicides known to man. Get killed in those convenience stores, working for him, making him money. So you ought to be compensated well, right? Because you're taking all the risk, a lot of risk, more risk than he ever dreamed of taking. And he doesn't stand behind those convenience stores that he gets money. And people come in his stores and and kill his convenience store clerks, and he still gets the money out of the cash register while their bodies are on the ground. The cash register money still goes to him, and he just hires other clerks to take the risk. It's like a meat factory, he ought to have a deal worked out with the mortuaries where he can make money off your dead bodies too, because he makes a lot of money off your dead body while you're laying there on the floor after you've been shot at by some thug taking a lot of risk that you don't even get compensated for. And you're not even protected. They could hire security guards and armed people in the store, and there's a lot of things they could do. They could lock the doors in some stores where you only put the stuff out of bulletproof glass that they order and you go get it. But that doesn't make them as much money. So they'd rather your life be at risk, and they pay you minimum wage because these jobs are taken by immigrants, a lot of immigrants, and a lot of people that are on the low end of the totem pole that are exploited by Mr. Bill Haslam, that has all this money from your risk, and then he gives the money away and is like a hero. He's got his name on the University of Tennessee. And Mr. Haslam, how you doing? How you doing? And you're no brother of mine. I'm not going to call you a brother because you're a thief and a thug that's flipped the financial system around. And I intend worldwide to hold you accountable. Now, in 2020, on Strawberry Plains Pike, 3 convenience store clerks got killed in one incident at his stores. 3. Now, he's a billionaire, and like I said, my life's at risk. He is likely, he won't do it himself, he'll send some thug after me. But so I'm taking a risk. Like, share, subscribe. By saying this about you, telling you the truth, unbridled news. It's America, it's the First Amendment. If he wants to sue me for defamation, let him do it. We'll go into court and explain to the jury the facts of this. Now, he's got a spin on things. He's got his dirty lawyers that he pays millions of dollars to figure out how to lie and undermine the truth and put out false propaganda. Oh, Haslam. But it's the truth. It's the truth. He's got his little death factory set up to make him billions of dollars. He's one of the richest men in Tennessee. Is he worth that much money? How much is your life worth? He doesn't even pay appropriately security to protect the convenience store workers because that cost him a few $1 billion that he can't get to give out freely to the public to build up his name to say, I'm a great con person, a former governor. We had a former governor that murdered somebody. Then they post-mortem, they found that out. Of course they found it out post-mortem. So yeah, what about finding stuff out before they're dead, which is what I'm doing. Breaking news. This news has been breaking for years. I put it out on videos for years, and they think I'll stop. And maybe I will. Maybe I will. Is it worth the risk? Fund the channel. Unbridled news. We'll go all over the state of Tennessee reporting these billionaires and exploiting them, exploiting the exploiters, bullying the bullies. That's what they are. They pay people to bully people. They're not even brave enough to bully themselves. They're chickens, they're cowards, they're liars, they're crooks in power. They're criminaloids. Look it up, it's a real word. And I'm not making stuff up. Read it out of any criminology textbook. This thinking, this science has been going on for hundreds of years. It's exploitation of the less powerful, using the laws to make it even legal what they're doing. Karl Marx, Max Weber, sociologists have been pointing this stuff out for years. You just point out their framework and what they tell you will happen. Great genius thinkers of science. That's not just science in Tennessee. It's science in Belgium. It's science in UK. It's science in Canada. It's science all over the world. It's criminology. It's known, respected theories that I'm just plugging in the thieves in their theories that explain to you what's going on because of their framework of conflict theory. That the haves exploit you and get more, and the have-nots get exploited by these people, do all the work, and even at your life's at risk to make them super rich while they hide behind the scenes. And then they punish anybody like me that would have the audacity to stand up and say, no, that's not right. You shouldn't be stepping over bodies to get super rich, and you shouldn't have all these people out here and even our government agencies making your name appear like it's great with the propaganda, hi Haslam, ho Haslam, while you're stepping over bodies to get filthy rich. I mean, what's the difference, if you see what I mean? So fund the channel. make it worth my while, or I'll do something else. I'm doing this for your benefit. Like, share. If you can't contribute, if you can give $1, it shows me you care. If you don't give $1, then Haslam wins. Haslam wins because he's got your dollar that he takes from you, that he exploits from you. You have to go by and see his name on our university schools. Haslam School of Business. It's Haslam School of how to exploit the less powerful is what it is. How to step over their bodies. So convenience stores are one of the most dangerous jobs in America as far as homicides. More people get killed at those convenience stores. Haslam owns convenience stores. Haslam took all the money and paid you minimum wage, or maybe a little better in some instances, for taking risk. So he flipped the financial situation. Even though that's a high-risk job, people do it because they're less powerful. That's the only jobs they can find. And if you don't agree with that, you can make up your own mind. I know the facts. I know the science. And he gets all the money. He ought to be required to pay for the risk. Just because somebody is in a less powerful position doesn't mean that they should have to risk their lives in an unsafe convenience store in order to make a living. He ought to be required to make his convenience store safe. In 2023, convenience store clerks got killed all in one incident at a Strawberry Plains Pike convenience store. And you weren't protected like they should have been. There's ways that they can protect those people to lower the risk, or if you're not going to lower the risk, pay them exponentially for the life-endangering job that they're doing. People think that police officers have the most dangerous job as far as homicide rates. By far, about 70 police officers get murdered every year. Somebody takes their life from them in a violent attack, and wrongfully. But about 350, when I did the study, about 350 convenience store clerks every year. So you're talking about 70 as compared to 350. And police officers get paid well. They have full medical benefits. Haslam hires these convenience store clerks for little to nothing. And police officers have guns, badges. They have the weight of law behind them. They have police cars. They have ballistic vests. They have training in how to deal with confrontation. And they have backup. They got whole systems and whole mechanisms. They have SWAT teams. They have armored cars. They've got military-style weapons that they can use, and they train every day to learn how to better protect themselves so that fewer of them get killed. These convenience store clerks that are working for Haslam, getting him rich off their high risk, don't have any of that. Don't have any of that. So they should be paid for their risk, but Haslam won't do that because he needs the money that they make for him in their high risk job to give to charity so that he can look good. Why don't he pay his convenience store clerks well, keep them from getting killed, or provide security, pay them well and provide security for them, and not flip the script on the financial system where the convenience store takes all the risk, he gets all the money and takes substantially no risk. Whereas if you borrow money from him, you pay him a lot of money for the risk. So let's see if we got people in here. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. This is the Charles Van Morgan Show. Like, subscribe, comment. You won't see this news anywhere else. Unbridled. You won't hear this. You won't hear this. People talking about the crimes of the privilege like you will me, because it's dangerous as hell. It's dangerous as hell, and I'll keep doing it. If y'all don't want to hear the truth, then keep doing what you're doing. I'll go do something else, because I'm taking a high risk and I ought to be compensated for it. If I'm not, I'm nobody fool. So this is stuff you need to hear in order to transform your government. You don't know what the problem is, what you need to change, until you know the problem. Otherwise, you think everything's going fine. It's not going fine. It's very crooked. Charles Van Morgan Show. Hit the square icon. or hit the Cash App and fund the channel Unbridled News. I'll travel all over the state reporting on crimes of the privileged. We will dog them out. We will send our dogs after them. You know, they send their dogs after you, where they have drug sniffing dogs if they want to search your car and they have no warrant. Let me see if we got people in here. Yeah, we got a bunch of people in here. Like, share, comment. Who's causing the risk? Haslam is. Peyton Manning. Now he just hot outside. Okay. So if they want to search your car, and the Supreme Court has ruled that this is okay, they ought to change it. Some of the things that the United States Supreme Court's pretty dumb about. But if they want to search your car, in America we have the First Amendment, where they can't search your car without a warrant unless they have other circumstances. And it's a little easier to search your car because of the mobility of a car, where it's a little more, it's very difficult for them. Should be very difficult for them to search your house, but they do it all the time anyway, lie and come in your house and kill you. On trumped up warrants, it's as bad as you think the government is, it's 2 times worse. So I'm out here doing this and reporting it to you so that we can, and they want me to say something where I'll get taken off YouTube or something violent, where they can, and I might get taken off YouTube anyway. I'll be on Twitter, or I'll be on Rumble, or be on Telegram. Message will get out if it's funded. If it's not, bye-bye. So the way they can search your car is they have a drug-sniffing dog that will hit on your car and bark and alert on your car, even if no drugs are in there. That's the way dogs are trained. So they can search your car if a drug dog hits on it. I wonder how many times a drug dog's been called out and not hit on a car that they were called out for. Yeah, I mean, there's drug residue everywhere. And so they're going to be able to search your car. Send a drug sniffing dog after them. Send this crime sniffing dog after these people in public power, and I'll uncover their corruption statewide. But the dog's got to have his treats when he uncovers facts, and I've uncovered a bunch of them. And we're uncovering the crimes of Bill Has-Been. He even had another billionaire suing him. So billionaires suing billionaires. They both say each other is not honest, breaking civil laws. So fund the channel, and I'll go hunting for their crime all over the state and find it, and I'll find real crime, not the fake trumped up stuff that they do. So Bill Haslam flips the script on the financial situation and exploits you and gets money and uses the money for propaganda to act like he's a good person, to sell that he's a good man, former governor, is a philanthropist, gives money to charities. It's money that came from dead bodies at his convenience stores that he exploited. Now the same way that this multinational corporation Uber does its drivers. Now I know people, and I'm not telling you not to use Uber. I mean, if I were you, if you use Uber, I would tip the driver in cash money where it don't go through. Now they can pay taxes, but there's no tax on tips. But Uber will take a lot of the tax, I think. They say they won't, but they will. But Uber flips the script on taking no risk. They're an app hidden behind metal and steel in an office building, using technology, and the driver is out in the car. And another high-risk job is their taxi drivers, is taxi cab drivers. They are a little bit higher than police officers in getting murdered on the job. So they have a high-risk job, and the Uber driver's a taxi driver, same difference, except for taxi drivers that go through the city are safer because we get thumbprinted. So they know who I am. So, yeah, and I'm a taxi driver but I'm the smartest taxi driver you'll ever meet. I have a doctor of jurisprudence, passed the bar twice. I have a Master of Arts in Criminology with an emphasis in sociology, or a master's degree in sociology with an emphasis in criminology from the University of Tennessee. I have my degree on a name where I read books about his criminality. He's got his name on a building, Haslam School of Business, where he learned how to rip me off and rip you off. And Haslam has personally ripped me off. And I'll explain to you how he did that. They won't let me have my law license because I would defend you and tell the truth against the government. But they want people that are bought and paid for that will defend him, who is in the government, at your expense. And I won't do that. I'm not bought out. I'm not sold out to these thugs, these criminals. So Uber drivers get murdered at an alarming rate. They murder people at an alarming rate because we don't know who they are. They can kill you. They can download somebody's information on a phone. They could download your information on a phone. An Uber driver could download your information, get your social security number, a picture that looks similar to you, download your information on a cell phone, enter it into a cell phone, and be driving under Uber, enter a bank number so the money goes in their account, and they be driving under your name because they're not thumbprinted. They don't know who it is. They just got your information, identity theft. And then they could go, and Uber has their driver, but it's listed as you, but it's some thug that entered your information on the phone because there's no thumbprint. That's where the difference is. Taxi drivers have to go down and put their thumb down so they take a picture of me, know who I am. So when I'm out driving, they know the company I work for, they know car numbers, they've run my name through a criminal history check, they know if I've ever been involved in any criminal offenses where I was convicted. Now, I've been attacked wrongly by the state and in criminal stuff, but in criminal stuff they have to get it through a jury, which they have a little hard time getting it through people, and sometimes they can do that of your peers that you can say, no, wait a minute, they lied. Look at this video that they're trying to tell you this happened. Look what really happened. And you can catch them red-handed. They don't want to drag me through a court case because I'm a trained lawyer. I know when they lie, and we get them on perjury. They control their dirty courts. They control their dirty courts. But in a civil case, they're judges that they're bought and paid for. And I say that their judges are bought and paid for. They're sold out to the highest bidder. And Haslam has the most money that he's gotten from dead bodies at his convenience stores that he can pay these civil court judges off. And they promote judges. Haslam promoted criminal court judges, so they always rule in his favor. So, and I'll explain to you how that works for him, but it doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for the First Amendment. It doesn't work for the Fourth Amendment. So, Uber drivers can be driving under somebody else's name. They can rape, murder, and kill you or one of your family members and take off to another country. Nobody knows that. They'll come to your house. They're looking for you because that's whose information they were driving under. It's called identity theft. Uber can do that easily because Uber won't make their drivers get thumbprinted, because a lot of their drivers probably won't, because they don't want you to know who they are. They want to drive under an anonymous name, whereas taxi drivers, the way it was originally done, get thumbprinted and they know who I am. So Uber pays these taxi cab drivers that work for Uber that aren't thumbprinted, aren't identifiable, maybe some illegal immigrants, pennies to take on the high risk of driving a taxi. That's one of the most dangerous jobs in the United States of America. And Uber takes all the money. And they're a multinational corporation. And they make billions and pay their taxi cab drivers little to nothing to take the risk. And Uber takes almost none of the risk. They're just an app. and they get all the money. They're flipping the script on the financial situation. And the Tennessee legislature has approved of that. That's okay to exploit workers as long as the billionaires, the owners of these multinational corporations, are making a lot of money. Hey, it's technology, yeah, but the government is supposed to put laws in place to protect people. Protection of the public is one of the most basic functions of a government. If they can't protect the public and provide basic services, and one of the most basic services that the government should provide is protection of the citizens. I mean, you can't do nothing if you're not safe. And I know we have a responsibility to protect ourselves. I get that. But the system needs to be set up in a way that doesn't allow us to be exploited for money, that makes it dangerous for us so billionaires can make money, that rigs the system of exploitation in their favor. If you see where I'm going, the system is rigged in favor of the billionaires at the expense of the working poor and even regular people that drive in an Uber. Do you know this, that your Uber driver's not thumbprinted, that he could rape, rob, and murder you or your family, and they might come to your house to get you because he downloaded your information on the phone, he wasn't thumbprinted? The government should make laws to protect the public, but they don't make laws that would protect the public, because if they made those laws, then it would cause the billionaires to make less money. So there, we have a system of exploitation in place. And you should be able to get in an Uber and be able to say, hey, this is safe, a safe ride. Now, Uber will tell you it is, but it's not set up to where it is because they don't put laws in place to provide for your safety like they do taxi drivers. So, and I'm not saying every Uber driver is dangerous. Some of them are more safe than taxi drivers. I know taxi drivers that smoke marijuana while they're driving. Isn't that a crock? And you know, depending on who they are, they get by with it because the police can't police. And so we have a system of exploitation set up by corporations, by wealthy, rich billionaires. Breaking news, hey, go figure. And what I will say about what we need to do about this, I was going to say earlier, they want me to say we're going to do something dangerous. No, go vote. Vote these criminals, these criminaloids, these rich, powerful people that flip the financial system around. Vote them out. Anybody that they support, vote them out. Haslam's not in office now, but I damn guarantee you he will support Marsha Blackburn you. Or if it shows in the polls that the other Republican that's running, that is also a rich man, then he will start giving him money. Just like he bought the election for his buddy, High Bills Lee. So he gets rich off exploiting poor convenience store workers, not paying them for their risk, taking all that risky profession and not taking any of the risk, exploiting people to take the risk. And when he got in government office, he used government office. It's Bill Haslam. I call him Bill Hasman. He used government office to raise the public's taxes. To raise the public taxes. This is crimes of the rich and affluent. So he got in power, bought power, had millions of dollars to run for public office, went around in a provost bus, living the high life, going to parties, acting like he's some kind of public servant, and going into his convenience stores, probably where he's exploited workers, shaking hands with them. And then when he got in office, he used the government, he used the power that he got that's supposed to serve the public, not to make laws that would take some of his money away and protect the public. He made laws that further exploited you. I'll tell you what those laws were. And then ended laws that made him pay his fair share. So let's see what we got in here. And we got quite a few people in here. Like, share, comment. Let's see what we got here. Bald. Okay, government name. Okay, we got haters in here. You got quick when hit with facts, Joe. So we got a lot of haters in here. That just means that we are, I just hope you get a nest egg. I'm sure you don't. No, I don't. I've been exploited. So someone needs to come and collect their dad. Yeah, okay. I advise get live cams in vehicle. Okay, yeah, there's things we can do to mega. Yeah, that's right. Make America great again. Make Tennessee great again. Get rid of these explorers. I'm just saying it's not a good place for us right now, people. Falcon 619 said, hello. And volunteers, San Falco. That's right. Who's causing the risk? Who's causing the risk? The rich people are causing the risk. And a lot of the risk is just natural. And Peyton Manning, yeah, he got rich off. Now he's just hot outside. Just stop. Okay. So yeah, Peyton Manning got rich off of sports. And there's a lot of people that have dangerous jobs that ought to get more money for what they do. So I like Peyton Manning, but he also flashed a female reporter when he was in the locker room. So, you know, of course, all that was covered up because we can't have a big star. I have installed cameras in, okay, yeah, Ephesians 1, 7 and 13. Repent of unbelief, trust the blood, atonement, payment of Jesus Christ at the cross. Hey, I believe that. I believe that. That is so very true. So we're going to continue talking about crimes of the rich and powerful. Let's turn this around where you see me. We're going to continue talking about the criminaloids. Crimes of the rich and powerful. Like, share, comment, and contribute. Fund the channel. You won't hear this unbridled news anywhere else. You won't hear this on CNN. CNN you'll hear running down Republicans. Fox News you'll hear running down Democrats. On Charles Van Morgan Unbridled, you'll hear me building up the public, you the populist, and telling you what crimes that people with CNN and the people with Fox News are supporting. This is real news, unbridled. We'll just tell you the truth about stuff. They ain't no bridle in my mouth. And I got a lot of knowledge and a lot of information, a life lived. I know how exploitive the government can be. And I'm fighting back. And I encourage you to jump on the wagon and don't fall off. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. And let's keep traveling and bust up their little facade. We can bust the hell out of it. We can win. We can have hope. They're not too powerful for the truth. The truth matters. They want to tell you it don't matter. They want to put out propaganda that's fake. And I'm going to tell you about some propaganda. About a video that I posted just yesterday about Vietnam veterans. And some of them that went to Vietnam that did some things they shouldn't have done, according to their written history. You know, they write history. That's not history that's really history. It's what they say history is. So when you read the history books, question the history books. Question authority. Question people in power. Question what you hear. Question authority. Don't go along. Don't conform. Just question things. Say, does that make sense in the normal course of events? Or is there a little trick they're trying to pull going on? 9 times out of 10, yes, there is. Read a history book. A lot of the things that they print in a history book never happen, or the spin they put on it is not true. That's the truth. Don't go along with a program. Test things. Read the Bible and pray and attend a great church and let God lead you, and He will. Let me turn this around. So Charles Van Morgan in the morning. So like, share, comment, contribute, fund the channel, send likes, and hit the square icon, and keep the channel alive. Keep me putting out truthful news against the rogue establishment. And we can make a change. We can make things better. And knowledge is a great thing. And what they don't want me to say, what they don't want to hear, they want me to say something violent. They're violent people. Is go vote. Vote these thugs, these creeps, these criminals, these high-class people out of office. So Bill Haslam, when he got in office, what he did is he used the office of the governorship that he bought with his money that he got by exploitation of you. He used this money to raise your taxes. So he raised your taxes. Imagine that, a Republican that claims they won't raise your taxes. Yeah, that's what they say. Don't listen to what they say. Listen, I'm not saying don't listen to what they say. Listen to what they say and then compare it, line it right up side by side with what they do. Not what the news says they do, what they really do. What he really did is get his billions of dollars, one of the richest men in America, off poor convenience store workers that have a high rate of fatality, paying them nothing, not even protect them. 3 convenience store clerks got killed in 2020 right here in Knoxville. Straw Plains. What he did was, he ran as Republican. The Republicans say they won't raise your taxes, they'll lower your taxes. Yeah, right. He raised, right here at the gas station, he raised the tax at the pump. See that pump? See that gas pump right there? There's a sign on that gas pump. There's a sign on that gas pump that tells you you're not just paying for gas, you're paying a federal tax and a state tax. You're paying for the cost of the gas, and then you're paying the government a tax that's supposed to pay for government services. That's supposed to pay for roads. That's supposed to pay for law enforcement. That's supposed to pay for our services that provide for people that can't provide for themselves. Yeah, I said that. They're supposed to pay to make hospitals be able to exist, to provide for the safety of the community, to facilitate people coming to Tennessee knowing that there's a hospital nearby if emergency happens that they can go to. And Tennessee has closed down more hospitals than almost any state in the nation. So people won't even come to Tennessee because they know if you come here, coming through to the Great Smoky Mountains, that if you have an accident or something, there's very few hospitals to go to. There's only hospitals for the rich. And they exploit the poor. And that gas tax is supposed to pay for government services. So he raised your gas tax. He said we're going to provide better, more government services. So we got a bridge here that he's standing on with Mayor Indy Kincannon when he's out hiker-fluting, a great government official. That bridge is now closed down. He doesn't care. He doesn't drive across that bridge. He doesn't even have any more convenience stores on this road that are right here in South Knoxville that he used to have. I bet if he had convenience stores in this area that he would have wanted the road opened up. But he doesn't care. Haslam doesn't live on this side of town. And his convenience store's closed, so he don't care if that convenience store gets business to it or not. He don't make money off the risk they're taking there anymore. So when Haslam was in office, make sure we don't get hit going across the road. When Haslam was in office, he raised your gas tax. He raised your tax gas tax. He called it a public safety act. You know, when they're taking money from you, this is for public safety. Hand me your money. This is for public safety. Hand me your money. This is going to help the public. This is going to help you. Give me your money. This is for you. But you're taking it from me. How's it for me? Because we're gonna help the roads for him. So Haslam raised your taxes, not just during his administration. That's what the city government's trying to do now. Not just, and they lie. Not just during his administration. He raised the taxes where it went up exponentially every year, even after he's out of office, to help the other perpetrator, the governor, get more money, make himself look better, get more of your money. So has them raise your taxes, which is bad enough. Bad enough. Raise your taxes. And he got in office, bought government power through exploiting you. When he got in government office, he continued to exploit you. And he's got all these people out here paying to facilitate a great reputation, putting out false propaganda about him. He's a dirtbag. He's a crook. He's a criminal. He can have his name on 100 buildings. He's still a crook. You know, it says that in the Bible. These people name roads after themselves and think their name will go on forever. And you know, fund the channel. We'll put his name where it ought to be. If he sues me, I have no money. They might try to lock me up. I don't know. They have before. I beat them. And, you know, I may need money for legal counsel. It costs me money to buy legal books. I can represent my damn self. Next time I might. So they got a lawyer out here that they burned and mistreated and exploited, took my youth away from me. And now I'm out here with the training that I got, representing you, the people, against them. Prosecute Bill Haslam. He ought to be in jail. He'll never go to jail, no matter how many people that he exploits out of his convenience store by a dangerous work environment, because he makes the laws, and he'll never make a law against himself. He bought the judges. The judges will never rule against him until we outvote him. So I'm prosecuting him to millions of people. Hey, Bill, almost 1 million people I'm talking to. Tell them the truth about you, boy. Yeah, I seen him on the sidewalk the other day while I was driving my taxi, one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, having to do that because I'm more educated than him, but I refuse to exploit people. While I was working for the government, I saved lives. But that doesn't matter to him. You gotta bow down to him. I'm not bowing down to him. I'm not bowing down to him. I bow down to God. Ask God for protection, safety, health, protection, and well-being. And I'm not afraid what man can do to me. I'm not afraid what Bill Haslam can do to me. I fear God. God has your soul. And Mr. Haslam don't have nothing. He ain't even got honesty. He ain't even got the truth. He's a dirtbag thug that's bought the government, that exploits you. So when he was in government power, he raised your taxes, took your money, and then, that's bad enough, and then he ended his tax, not lowered them, ended them, where you didn't even have to pay them anymore. And it's not like he ain't got the money not to do that. And it's not like Trump, where he played the tax system. Trump wasn't in power when he didn't have to pay much taxes. He didn't write the rules. Haslam and people that were in power were writing the rules. Haslam was in power helping Trump get out of taxes. Trump just used the system that Haslam and people in power set up. So you can't blame Trump. Now, if you want to blame him for something now, go ahead. I appreciate him lowering the cost of society by lowering the cost of keeping the infrastructure up, lowering the cost of our medical care by taking illegal people out of the country where there's more services and they don't cost as much for born Americans like me. That's what I appreciate. So in effect, these people out here saying not to get rid of illegal immigrants, and I don't want to get rid of them, that's not my job, are saying we need to pay more taxes to serve people that come over here that aren't even supposed to be here, because somebody's got to pay for the services that they get, and it's not them substantially, or quite frankly their children. And I'm not against children, we need to treat them right, but they shouldn't be allowed over here in the first place unless they come through legal channels. So Trump is actually lowering your taxes. It costs more to run a hospital when you got everybody and your brother from overseas coming over here and getting free medical care. because they shouldn't have got over here in the first damn place. And since they're over here illegally, when we remove them back to their country where they belong, they weren't born here. You don't have a country without borders. I mean, excuse me, that's just reality. And they come over here not supposed to be here, and they use our services. There's less services for you. No king's hell. How about no illegal immigrants? I'll hold up a sign on the sidewalk, no illegal immigrants. They take our tax money. And that's what we got to pay them money for, is so they can take care of people that come over here from other countries. Taxes would not be anywhere near as high if we built a wall around the United States and only take care of the people that are born here in the United States. I was born in the USA. Yes, that used to mean something. And let people come in through a gate like heaven, or this ain't heaven, but come in through a gate so we know who they are and they're not undocumented, and salute and say a pledge of allegiance to the American flag, and not be terrorists, murderers, and rapists, and not be driving Ubers that aren't documented. And I know for a fact, and kill people in drunk driving wrecks. They're not over here working, some of them. They're over here committing crimes, exploiting Americans, undocumented. They got a mask on running around here because they're not documented, in effect. And I know for a fact that they commit crimes, they kill people in car wrecks, because when I was a trooper in Jefferson County, an illegal alien killed somebody in a car wreck, and then they run back across the border, never to be caught again, never be seen again, because they're undocumented. So if anybody's responsible for raising taxes, it is people like Bill has them. I'll tell you how he raised it. He raised taxes by the gas tax. He raised your gas tax. Everybody's welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. Like, share, comment. Somebody hit the button to send a message, to give me $1 to show you care, to show you that what I'm saying is getting through. Unbridled news. Who do you hear? Just ask yourself, who do you hear say stuff like this? And I'm not done yet. I'll tell you some more stuff in my repertoire of truth. And I'm not saying do anything violent. I'm just telling you the facts and telling you to go vote. Don't stand up on the sidewalk and say no kings and adore illegal aliens that make you pay more money, make you have to pay more taxes for more services, where you have more people that cost more for services. And these are people that ain't supposed to be here. People told me when I went across Tennessee, and I'll tell you about Bill Haslam's, what he did to end his own tax. And he can sue me for defamation. It's the truth what he did. What I learned about when I was in law school. The professor said it. So they know. They're just not allowed to say it in the courtroom. So illegal aliens take up services that we got to pay for. People told me when I was campaigning for governor in 2020, when 3 people were killed at Haslam's grocery stores, or the Haslam's rip-off stores, Exploitation, cash bank stores for him, that they go in a store and they don't have a lot of money. They work hard and barely get by, and they can't buy everything in the grocery store that they lay eyes on. They have to be very careful, and they go out with a grocery cart that's half full, and they'd like to fill it up, but they can't afford to. They don't have the money. And then they look at other people who they say are illegal aliens, and they got a bunch of people with them, and a few people with them, a bunch of children that are illegal. They're not supposed to be here, and they're illegal, they say, and they fill their grocery cart all the way up. So these people from foreign countries are getting stuff, and somebody's got to pay for that. It's not free. And that's why they have to raise taxes. They have to raise our taxes They have to raise our taxes because services, it costs more to feed people from other countries, feed everybody. Medical care services cost money. It's not free. So when you support treating illegal aliens fairly, I'm behind you. I'm not behind mistreating any illegal aliens. When you support, let's wait till this car goes up. When you support legally, safely, as humanly possible, enforcing the laws of this great country and deporting people that aren't supposed to be here, that aren't documented, that haven't sworn to abide by our laws, that haven't went through a process. When you support deporting them safely, not mistreating them, enforcing the law, and deporting them and their children, if they decide that they want to be taken with them, I mean, who wants to leave their kids? Then I support that. Deporting illegal aliens, I'm 100% for that. That will make it more possible for you and your families to live. I'm just telling you the facts. This country is not built on illegal immigrants. Today in 2025, we have laws to set up for the benefit and the prosperity of everybody. Back when the Pilgrims came over to the United States, that was a different time and place. The same circumstances don't apply, and that's hilarious and pretty pathetic that people say, well, we were immigrants. Yeah, but when America wasn't colonized. And I'm not responsible for the crimes of my forefathers and forefathers before that. I am here now. We've set up camp. We've set up our residences. We were born here. I was born here. I'm not an immigrant. I was born here. My grandparents were born here. I've got a right to this place. And people from foreign countries are getting more rights than us. And they're causing us the price of things to go up exponentially where we can't even afford to live. Deport them so we can afford to feed our children. It even teaches in the Bible to take care of your own. That's part of taking care of your own. That's God's will, to deport illegal aliens safely and effectively. That's possible. That's biblical, I believe. So, Haslam, and we're coming up on the bridge, Charles Van Morgan in the morning, and these people must have watched my video. They turned their little sprinkler system off where I won't get wet. So they were soaking the sidewalk, making it dangerous. So Haslam raised the gas tax, call it the Public Safety Act. It's I'm the governor and I'm going to exploit you because we need more money. You need more money in the public coffers because I'm getting ready to take the tax money that I'm supposed to pay out of the public coffers. So we got to make up for that somehow. So we'll raise your taxes and then use public service to benefit himself. And then Haslam ended his taxes. He ended the inheritance tax, which is a tax only for the super rich. Only people that were in the top of society that had income that they didn't even earn, other people earned for them. That's how rich these people are. And it is only business and economical that you should pay your fair share. You shouldn't get rich off other people's taxes. You should have to pay your taxes. And you should have to pay the taxes on money that you've gotten through exploitation. But he used the government to further exploit the public. And that's what these rich people in power do. They use the position of power. Now, they don't tell you that. When I'm going running for office, I'm going to raise your taxes. It's called the Public Safety Act. And I'm going to end my taxes. They don't tell you that. They lie to your face. They're good at it. They look at you and smile real big. They stand on a bridge that they later condone closing and smile real big with a Democrat and Republican. They're all in the same camp. They're dirty as hell. He stood on that bridge with the mayor here in Knoxville. And smiling real big with her, and closed down the Gay Street Bridge now. So people have to funnel across this bridge. So you look at the traffic on this bridge, on this only thoroughfare through here. So what Haslam did, keep you in suspense, let's get right to it. He ended the inheritance tax, which is a tax on the super rich, which is a tax that affected him. And you didn't have to worry if you're about 99% of the population. You didn't have to pay that tax because you didn't make enough money. But he ended the tax on the super rich, himself included. So he ended his own taxes, not lowered them, ended them where you don't pay an inheritance tax anymore. The money that he exploited from convenience store clerks, getting all the benefit from their high risk, he didn't even pay taxes on it. And when he got in government service, when he wasn't in government service, he used his business to exploit people. When he got into government, he bought government. He used the government to further exploit you and benefit himself. Now that's Governor Bill Haslam, the former governor. Bill Has-Been's what I call him, but he's still the governor now. He tells Bill Lee, the transvestite Christian governor, that is a thug and a exploitive man himself, that attends parties to get in government at Bill Haslam's house. They even have drunken parties where state troopers drive to their governor parties and get drunk and drive out in their state patrol cars drunk under the influence, and then they go out and arrest you even when you're not drunk all across the state of Tennessee. They got to have their numbers up. They can't find real drunk people. So they arrest you in Tennessee. It's a problem going on all across the state. Never happened to me. Never got in trouble for arresting somebody that wasn't drunk. Never did that and prosecuted them. So they're exploiting you. There's people in government power are billionaires that are exploiting you. They're exploiting you before they get in office, and then they're exploiting you even more when they buy the office with their propagandists that sell them as a well-respected person. And if you stand up against them, they will convince the public that you're a murderer and say all kinds of heinous things against you, none of which they can prove in a court of law in front of a jury or a real judge. None of it would hold up in a real courtroom or real facts. And what I'm saying to you, will it hold up in your courtroom? You tell me. You think I'm telling the truth about Haslam? He raised your taxes, gas tax. They called it Public Safety Act tax. It's a tax that he had to put in place because he needed to make up for the money where he wasn't going to pay his taxes. And he ended the inheritance tax, where inheritance tax is where the billions that you have when you die, when your children inherit that money, before it gets to them, you got to pay a tax to the government, to society, because you haven't earned that much money, and you have to pay a small percentage of it back to society because you made that money off society's roads and society's work and effort. And it's only fair that you should pay part of it back if you're that super rich. And he said no, you don't pay any of that back. So his family pays no inheritance tax on his billions of dollars that he's exploited off of you. And you're exploited and still have to pay taxes. Now that's the way it doesn't work for you. Let's see how many people we got in here. So we're at the bridge now. And thank y'all for coming in here. This is news that you won't hear anywhere else. Trump cut your Medicare. You know, Trump needs to be government name. Government name to go. Okay, I don't understand half of this. Hell is eternal, separation from God. It's a choice. Jesus won't force himself on us. I agree with that. So he never took on the punishment for our sins. You just admit it. Amen. If you want to get in here, and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, go right ahead. I'm behind that. I'm behind that 100%. God bless you. Jesus is the answer. I hate gas so damn much. Okay, zero evidence of God's evidence and Jesus for all that matter. Well, the heavens declare the firmament of God, and the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Imagine believing in fairy tales, 2025. I give up. Okay. Yanks. Okay. Imagine supporting a PDF fire or whatever. Don't hate on Jesus. Okay, so we'll go on with this. We're talking about Bill Haslam, the crook that he is, how he's exploited you, and we're going to go over some black and white paperwork. We're going to talk about how God works in mysterious ways, and talk about two people who raised the fatality rate, created an environment on Tennessee roadways that's dangerous for you. Criminaloids, crimes of the privileged. And how they created an environment that damaged them. And caused the environment that they created bit them. So God allowed for them to be damaged too. So we'll talk about that. And here is a wreck involving surviving serious wreck. In one regard, she's lucky to be here for this honor. Just 13 months ago on April 3rd, 2024. So this is a wreck that Stacy Heatherly was in, that she was hit by a drunk driver this year. Now, she created an environment by getting the leading trooper off road that arrests drunk drivers, me, and made it more likely that she would get hit by a drunk driver. So kind of poetic justice. Similarly, her best girlfriend, she called, lying Lil Russell, a month after he lied on me and got me fired, he got hit by a truck in a bad car wreck. God works in mysterious ways. They create an environment and took somebody that enforced the traffic laws evenly and fairly off the road and made it more dangerous for you, and in effect, here's the evidence, made it more dangerous for themselves. So they're like gluttons. They should have left me alone. And they should leave me alone now. So, may God protect me from their evil. So here's Haslam's convenience stores pilot, where convenience store workers work in that store, the stop and rob. Anybody go in there, rob that place, and hit the interstate. Right over here is the interstate. Take off out of there. And here at this gas pump, right here, he raised he raised the cost of your gas, your tax on that gas pump. That doesn't matter to him, it's a few pennies. He lowered his tax by millions, because when he passes away, his family, his children that are already rich, benefit, and privileged without having to work for it, don't have to pay taxes, because he ended his inheritance tax. So when he got in the government, he raised your taxes and ended his taxes. So that's what you want from these elite people. And we are trying to make a difference. And I believe that we are. Because we have today, October the 21st, I think, reached, and that's not counting today's broadcast, 725,000 people. So we're coming up on 1 million people that we're broadcasting to. So almost 1 million people that we are broadcasting to live, that we are telling the truth to. And soon, just in a few days, we'll be broadcasting to 1 million people, talking about the criminaloids, crimes of the elite. This is how the rich get richer and the poor get prison. From Charles Van Morgan Unbridled. If you like the news, if you like the channel, and there's things we can do about it. One of the things I'm doing about it right now is putting it out live, broadcast worldwide, about these criminaloids. Now, they might try to take me out. So fund the channel, make it worth my while. Somebody give me $1 in the app to say you're listening to me, that you want to hear the truth. Or maybe nobody will be here to do it. I don't know. I hope somebody will take the baton. But I'm not planning on going anywhere. So if you like the channel, hit the square icon, or hit the Cash App, or or join the channel. Keep Unbridled News going. We'll reach 1 million people here in the next few days. So thank you all. If you can't contribute even $1, and some people can't understand that. If you can't, don't. Then at least like and subscribe, so that I'll know that you're with me and you want to hear this. This is dangerous business. Have no doubt. Mr. Haslam's powerful and rich. He's not going to do his dirty work, get somebody else to. So like and subscribe. Dangerous work. Make it worth it. That's one reason nobody does it. It's so damn dangerous. But, so I pray and ask God to protect me, and also take measures to defend myself. So let's look around, make sure there's no snipers around. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. They did that to, anybody see any snipers? Does anybody see snipers on the buildings? Because what I'm doing is dangerous as hell. Does anybody see snipers on the building? So, I don't know. So there could very well be snipers. So I'm just saying, I'm talking about a powerful man, a former governor. Now, I'm not for killing him. Don't lay a hand on Mr. Haslam. Don't do it. No violence. Don't go around his house. Stay the hell away from the man. If he's walking down the street, then you could pass him, let him pass safely. Do not hurt any of these government officials. I'm not for that. I'm against that. Don't do it. And that even hurts the cause, because violence works. But if I have to get somewhere through violence, I won't do it. Because God hates violence. They don't. They don't hate violence. They love violence. They're very violent, dangerous people. I am asking people to vote. That's all. Vote. Go to the polls and vote. Don't hold up signs that say no kings. Well, if you're going to vote for Haslam or one of the Democrats or Republicans, then don't vote. Go hold up a sign and protest no kings. Because I'm going to go vote. and the people that are with me are going to go vote. And then you can stand on the sidewalk and be pissed off all day long because you don't make a damn. You're irrelevant. People that hold up signs that say no kings are irrelevant and stupid because we have no kings, and I'm going to vote, and you'll stand there on the sidewalk pissed off for a long time. I'm hoping that we can flip the election by going and voting. So 725,000 views. Now we could technically, if all these people lived in Tennessee, now I'm just dreaming, if 725,000 people that watch me lived in Tennessee and all of them were for me, we're gaining ground slowly, taking over ground, not with violence, with truth, putting out the truth every day and telling you the way things are. Now there's people on here putting out their false propaganda. Go right ahead. You can repeat a lie and it's still a lie because the truth has more weight. So we can flip the elections. If I had 720,000 people, let's see how many it said. 725,000 listeners that were voters in Tennessee that were eligible and got registered to vote, and we took away votes from the Democrats and Republicans, we could literally win with 725,000 votes. We could flip the election if we took votes from them and got that many people to vote. Now, that's all those 725,000 people are not here in Tennessee. I get it. And all those 725,000 people are not on my side. I guarantee you, read the comments, you'll see. A lot of them thugs and not very good people. But if we did have that, and we can get that in Tennessee, we got 725,000 people. And that's about the minimum. Flip some of their votes in the 725,000, then they would have less than 725,000, if you see the math. And we could literally put this government in our favor, in the people's favor, in the populace favor, and get a special investigation unit out that the populace is mostly for, and investigate the crimes of Mr. Haslam. And if he's committed some, I believe he has, bring it before a grand jury and indict him and flip the script and put him in this little jailhouse over here that you can't see because of the fog this morning. Because of the fog. And we could put some of these rich exploiters in jail at a minimum. Now somebody give me $1 to show me you care. At a minimum, we could make him pay his fair share of taxes. At a minimum, we can lower our taxes by helping our federal government get rid of illegal immigrants. At a minimum, we would not allow our National Guard to be in major crime-filled cities unarmed. We'd allow them to be there. I'm all for that. I've talked to people. Most people, I believe, are for that. Our National Guard being in cities. But did you know they're unarmed? My goodness. Asking them to risk their life and not even allow them to protect themselves. Mr. Trump, arm the National Guard. Don't put them out as a shooting gallery. Let them be armed to protect themselves. So we could win with 725,000 votes. So if we get that many people in Tennessee, we're on the way getting the message out. If you're not in Tennessee, you know somebody in Tennessee, call people in Tennessee. So here's what we're talking about, the convenience stores. A significant disparity exists between risk and interest when compared with the reality of low-risking, low-paying jobs, while people in high-paying fields may weigh risk against potential rewards or personal fulfillment. Individuals in hazardous, low-wage occupations often accept danger out of necessity with little or no financial compensation for the risk. And Haslam took advantage of that. And the government, he was in government, he should make laws to make it illegal for people to exploit people with hazardous work environments. And it is a hazardous work environment when you know there's extreme risk of people getting killed and you don't provide for their safety at your stores with adequate security. So convenience store compliance to reduce robbery-related homicides and assaults are the leading cause of deaths in retail workers' business. Workers in convenience stores have 7 times higher rate of work-related homicide than workers in other industries. Homicides per 1,000 workers, 0.28 1,000 workers. There are disparities among the homicide victims too, specifically Black, Asian, Hispanic men rather than white men, additionally foreigners. So if you want to protect foreigners, then stop Mr. Haslam from exploiting them. And also, my job is a dangerous profession. And I wish I didn't have to do it, but I do. So taxi drivers, chauffeurs, have the highest homicide rate of any occupation, 17.9 fatalities per 100 work, 36 times the risk of all employed individuals. This group comprises 0.% of employed workers in the United States, but accounts for about 7% of work-related homicides. These workers are particularly vulnerable because they work alone, take non-cultural trips to secluded areas, and exchange cash on hand. The occupation potential classification also includes drivers on regular routes such as airports, airport transferring drivers from limousine style services. Because of clientele served, the regularity of the driver's routine and alternative cash payments method used, the latter activities have a low relative risk of homicide. Therefore, the work-related homicide for cabbies is probably understated. But there's more convenience store workers murdered because there's more. So there's more cash stands for them to pick up, for them to get killed. There's more opportunities for Haslam to make money and more opportunity for them to get killed. Although they get killed at a lower rate, people think that police officers get killed at a higher rate. Police officers get killed. Public police and detectives. Police detectives suffer the second highest fatality rate, 4.4 facilities per workers, because they are well protected. But people like me are not. So let's talk about, and I've reworded this from some stuff I got when I was in law enforcement. the counter tactics, government procedures. Let's see here what this says. So we have here, we must understand government criminals, like all criminals, government commits crimes. These crimes are found to have their operations plans and training for their acts. So government commits crimes. While on duty, there are many indicators we can watch for. While we're public, when we spot these indicators, pass it on to Intelligence Center and Charles Van Morgan, pass it on to anonymous survey, pass it on to my anonymous survey on YouTube, in the YouTube section. We can no longer say that doesn't matter. So when you see government officials committing crimes, we can no longer say that doesn't matter. So here's what you must do. You must be compelled to complain and report when you encounter suspicious activity in government power. And here's what we can do. Detect, deter, and disrupt the government power. Judges and people in government power are criminals. Government people in government power are criminals. So what we can do about it is we can detect, deter, and disrupt. And if you see people in government power, like Mr. Haslam, or things that are going rogue, then you can detect, deter, and report it. And I have an anonymous survey set up for reporting people in power government crimes. And go on my YouTube channel you're on my YouTube channel now, but go in the narrative section, and there is a survey on there. Hit that survey and report anything you want to. You don't have to put your name, and I don't know who you are, and report any kind of suspicious activity or any kind of news that you want me to report in this unbridled news. It's anonymous. If you want to not be anonymous, put your name and phone number down there. But you can report suspicious activity by the government. First thing we need to detect it, start looking around. Stuff from government people in power that they're doing things wrong, that they're doing things illegal, stuff that's not right, that people in government power are doing. Detect it. Look. Sit in some of these courtrooms. MAD has people that sit in the courtrooms. They act like they're trying to make sure that drunk drivers get prosecuted to the full extent of the law or get punished beyond measure, but that's not going to help the problem. But what I would ask people to do is go to courtrooms peacefully, comply with the rules you can in the public courtrooms, and listen to what these judges are doing, and listen to what these prosecutors are saying, listen to what these attorneys are saying that are supposed to be representing you. Listen to them out in the hallway. If they're speaking loud enough so you can hear them, listen. And when you spot criminal activity by our courtrooms and judges, don't say anything to them, don't disrupt it. Get on the internet and get on my anonymous survey page and report it to me. And I'll put it out to the public worldwide. I'll be the front man. I'll look out for their snipers, and it may come to the point where I'll have to stop being out here. It depends on what kind of threats I get. And I know I have none active. And we'll keep a lookout on the buildings for snipers, because they're out here. And while I'm looking on the top of buildings for snipers, there could be one all the way out there. They could see with a scope me all the way over there. So I will look out, and there may be where I can't come out here. I don't know. We'll keep a lookout. So detect and report it through my survey anonymously, or put your name on there and your contact information, or don't. Sit in their courtrooms, listen to what they're saying and doing, and report anything you find suspicious. Detect it and report it, and I'll try to report it to deter it. And also go vote. So here is the Haslam School. Haslam has got his reputation machine in full effect. Haslam College of Business. Now this is Haslam. See, they write their name on buildings thinking it'll go forever. Haslam College of Business. Now his College of Business is how to exploit the working poor in one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, and how to rip them off. And that's Haslam's College of Business, is teaching people how to rob people, basically by exploiting them, and then how to get in government and get people's tax money and not have to pay your own. So here's the thing about our little reporting, our social movement. Outcomes. This is how, if people are to act collectively, it is argued then they must believe that such action would be efficacious, that change is possible, but that it will not happen automatically without collective action. Oliver, 1985-21, that's cite. Optimism about the outcome of collective challenge will thus enhance the probability. Thus will enhance or diminish it. We do not quibble with his position, especially since it has received. Okay, so the optimism about what we can do, about detecting, reporting, and deterring, and optimism that we can make a difference, and we can. We can make a difference, and I'm optimistic about that. We'll help the movement. And it will help me be optimistic if somebody will contribute $1 to show me, hey, today one person was affected by this and gave $1. And even if they didn't, even if that doesn't happen, then we can keep going for now. There's a point where it drops off, where it's not worth the risk of having to worry about snipers, having to worry about Bill Haslam, or the thugs in power. But if you can't send $1, and somebody can, there is 71 people on here now. Then at least hit the like button and show me that you've subscribed to the channel. So tomorrow we're going to continue the discussion about a thug in power. We're going to talk about the man that started all this, my fight with people in power. The man that started the massacre on the roadways with the high fatality rates. Mainly Tracy Trotz. So Tracy Trotz, if somebody knows him, call him, tell him we're going to do a show about him tomorrow. Some really compelling stuff about maybe future prosecution of him, some crimes that he has pretty much admitted to doing, quite frankly, closely anyway. And we'll show you about this. So if you know Tracy Trotz, call him and tell him to tune in to the program tomorrow. And we're going to talk about some crimes that he may have admitted to. And if we can get in power, we can flip the script and maybe prosecute him for crimes that he's probably admitted to. And we'll continue talking about the not going along, not conforming with these people. Stand up against them. Fight them. Don't listen to what they're trying to tell you. Well, listen to what they're trying to tell you, but don't agree with their narrative. So here is thank you all. So here is maybe some crimes that he committed. Well, it's another paper, but here's some people that testified against me. Joe Walker, Danny Thomas, Stacey Heatherly. We'll talk about them tomorrow. And this is the crook with the plan. And we'll talk about him tomorrow. So if you know Tracy Trotz, call him, tell him that he's going to be worldwide in front of over 700,000 people tomorrow. Here, we'll turn the light off so you can see this right here. He pursued a fake case, caused the release of hundreds of drunks, drivers. As a result, more people were killed, committed fraud by pursuing a fake case. I paid for my expert, that was his expert. Your tax dollars paid thousands for his liars, and the crooked Tennessee judges got promoting for putting the weight of law on lies. They will lie on you. So we'll talk about Trotz. And thank you, our stream from Europe. Okay, thank you. Let's see what, dear Grandpa, you already walked 19 miles. No, I haven't. So we'll talk about Trotz tomorrow. If you know Trotz, he need a beer. I don't drink, and I don't smoke, and I cuss a little bit though. So we'll talk about Tracy Trotz tomorrow, and talk about some crimes that he may have even admitted to, and talk about some discrepancies in his sworn testimony. Talk about how he's a dirty coward. He's a sniper. He won't face you. He has his henchmen to do his dirty work for him. So he ain't got time to face who he's accusing. He's like a sickening sniper that hides far away and commits his crimes from a distance, and is a dirty thug that is that I'm going to talk about his crimes tomorrow. So God bless you all, and thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll have another show tomorrow. We're coming up on 1 million people. Like, share, spread the message, contribute. Show the love. Show that you want to hear this. And if you don't, it might not continue. I don't know. Somebody give $1 today. Say, hey, we listen to you. And, 100 pennies. And show that you want to hear this. Unbridled news. We'll go all over the state. Printing the truth about the lies from the government. So, Mr. Bill Haslam, he closed down this bridge over here, the Gay Street Bridge that he stood on. Now, he didn't specifically close it down, but the people in power closed it down, and he stood on this bridge with somebody in power that closed it down, smiling in a picture. This bridge right over here, smiling in a picture on that bridge that's closed down now. So there's only and scan the building for snipers. There's only there's only 3 ways to get across the Tennessee River now. Only 2 ways in Knoxville. Only 1 way through downtown Knoxville. And that is the only 1 way through downtown Knoxville is this bridge right here. So you can see the traffic heavily backed up right here. Backed up for miles. You can see how far it is. Because that bridge right over there, although they had open since 1989, so you can see the skyline. Although they had it open since 1989, now they don't have the money, they claim, to have the bridge open. So and there's a picture of him and the mayor smiling on the closed down bridge. So that everybody has to funnel across this one bridge, and that's why I come over here, because a lot of days I have a sign out that is advertising my YouTube channel, the channel you're on right now, and trying to get likes and shares, and promoting my channel. So when I bring my sign over here, a lot of people can see it. So we'll be back on here tomorrow. Thank y'all for listening. God bless you all. And last thing I always say is God loves you, and I do too.